Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm gonna go over how to make dark synthy samples in the style of Travis Scott or like Mike Dean or something like that. And yeah, so waste no time, I'll hop right into the breakdown. So we're starting to sample off at 132 BPM. I feel like this is really like the sweet spot for like those dark synth types of samples. So actually to start this melody, use a pedal phrase from Zicozy Circuit pedal multi-kit. And I use phrase 13 here. And this is what it originally sounds like. So I just brought it in and chopped it up and pitched it down by one semitone. And I did absolutely nothing with the effects. It just sounded really good dry. Again, I went into that pedal phrase folder and found another really dope phrase, and this is what it sounds like. And for this one, all I did was pitch it up by 12 and then pitch it to the right key. And all I did was chop it up to keep that type of rhythm. This is what it sounds like with both phrases together. Already sounding super synthy. Sound selection for this sample is really huge, and all the sounds are coming from that Circus multi-kit by Zicozy, and it comes with the analog lab bank, phrases, percussion loops, playable accents that are actually in analog lab, which we'll go over in a little bit. And yeah, it's really driving, the sound selection is really driving the sample. So I went into this analog lab bank and grabbed this Oracle textured key. There's absolutely no effects on that. Then I went back into that same kit and opened up this twist preset. And it's just playing pattern that sounds like this. And all I did was add a halftime on just to kind of change it up a little bit. And then I went to that playable accents bank called Playground that's also included in the Circuits multi-kit. And I grabbed this preset right here and it's just playing pattern that sounds like this. There's absolutely no effects on that as well. And then I went back into Playground, grabbed this sample right here, and it's just hitting on the one. And those two accents right there are really just to add some texture to it, just filling some of those gaps that I thought needed to be filled. And yeah, just to add some more ear candies. Now, the last thing in terms of MIDI is just this bass from Contact, and it sounds like this. And really with these samples, they're really repetitive, but finding that root note is very important because I'm just going to repeat the bass over and over and over again. And that's what I did like this. Just repeated this D sharp over and over again. And if you're wondering, this is the Rickenbacker bass from Contact. And then the last thing for this first section is this Crisis perk loop right here. And it sounds like this. This is also coming from Circuits. And with all that, that's what the first section of the sample sounds like. And then to transition to the second section, which is a lot more like atmospheric and like very dark sounding, almost reminds me of like an old type of Travis Scott type of sample. And all I'm doing is rendering out this phrase chop right here and just consolidating it so then I can add a decapitator on. And these are the settings for the decapitator. This is just like a distortion plugin. And I'm just automating the distortion to kind of swell up to transition into that next section. And then also to help the transition, I added in the bass from the second section and then this drum loop from the second section. And then finally added in this pedal phrase, which I'm about to go over, and I just had it in the transition to that next section. And now on to the next section. I started like I started the first section. I started with a pedal phrase. This is pedal phrase number 17, and it's sounding like this. In terms of the effects, I got a Valhalla vintage verb, a Volv compressor, an EQ, an RC20, another EQ, and then a sound shifter just kind of add those deep frequencies back in there. And then a shaper box just to add that side chain. And then I highlighted this and hit Control-Alt-C and it consolidated it. And then I hit reverse and then I just chopped it up to fit the same chord progression. And then I rendered that out again and pitched it up an octave and added some vintage verb, some delay, and some pan man just to kind of make it more atmospheric. And then I just swelled up the volume so it just sounds very nice, and this is what it sounds like. Next thing I added was this drum loop from Steven Schaefer's kit, and it just sounds like this. I feel like this drum loop was used in like every Travis Scott sample back in the day. So I just had to bring it back here. And then I added this distorted respace in from my Echoes kit, and this just sounds like this. The big thing making a bass pattern like this is just make sure you find your scale and just kind of use those half steps. As you can see here, I'm using these half steps to kind of transition in this next note. And since it's a one shot, I'm utilizing these slide notes, which just adds an extra element to that bounce. And then the final sample for the second section is this compatibility preset right here, and the pedal works bang, and it's just sounding like this. And there's no really like rhyme or reason for why I clicked these notes in. They just sounded good. And like I said before with the bass, find your scale and just kind of mess around with the notes in there. There's absolutely no effects on that either. And then for the second half of the second section, all I did was make unique these bass patterns and then just pitched them up an octave just to kind of change it up a little bit. And if you're curious about how I mix my samples, I just posted a video last week about how I mix and master my samples. So I'm not really going to go over it here, but if you were really interested in that, go check that out. In terms of the master though, I'm just putting in my normal chain, but I'm adding a sound shifter, pitch it up by 2. And then I'm adding the soothe in just to kind of dampen those frequencies that I like, and then this gain plugin to boost it up by 5. And after all that is what the final sample sounds like. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys could take some away from this. I wanted to throw it back to another like a dark type of sample because I really like how this one turned out. Also, thank you to Z Cozy for sending over his circuits multi-kit. Definitely check this one out. It is crazy for making samples like this. Like, it was super easy for me to put this together. It is actually an insane kit, and he puts out some really, really nice analog glide banks. So if you're not even really interested in this kit, check out his other stuff. I'm sure there's something for you on there. I have it linked below in the description if I remember. And if you guys want to stay in touch with me, go check out my Instagram @Eville. Go hit me with a follow over there, DM me, do whatever. I got a lot of crazy stuff coming. An insane multi-kit is on the way using a bunch of real analog gear. I'm really excited to share that with you guys, but that's not going to be out for a couple weeks probably. But if you want to stay in tune with that, go check out my Instagram. I'm posting on there almost every day on my stories and stuff. Yeah, now I'm just rambling, but I'm really excited about this multi-kit coming out. So if you want to support me, go check out my Instagram. If you're interested, go check out my Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one.